This is the Hub on Hollywood, an iHeartRadio podcast. I am your co-host, James Rojas.
And I'm Jamie Blanco.
Woo! Jamie's back. Woo!
Hi, everybody.
Not only is Jamie back for this week's episode, but on this week's episode, we're talking about Chris Evans and the rumors that he will be returning for another Avengers movie. He's saying it's not as clear as it looks, as it appears to be. So we'll get into that. It's also the battle of the directors. David Lynch, the late David Lynch, and Quentin Tarantino have strong opinions about what is the best way, how is the best way to film a movie. Netflix releases its slate of movies coming up this year, 2 of which I'm very excited for, and a review of DogMan. No, not Batman, DogMan. But Jamie, as we mentioned, you are back. Welcome back. We were telling our listeners, our viewers, that you were out on assignments, and you right. were. We sent you on a very expensive trip to Spain on right. the very specific mission of comparing the movie theater going experience over there to over here. And I can't wait to hear your report and how things went.
Yeah, that's the only reason I went to Spain, right?
Yeah, to watch one movie, I believe.
With our extensive budget. Yes, James, and I have come back with a very controversial report.
Ooh, I love this.
Okay, at least to my husband. So I was on a trip to Valencia, Spain. First of all, the selection of movies on the airplane, on the ride over, the international flight, very good. Very good. They had both of your Zorro movies.
Excellent.
With Catherine Zeta-Jones and Antonio Banderas. And another very healthy selection. I got to watch The Holdovers. I hadn't seen the whole film. I got to watch the whole film on that very long flight.
How long is that flight?
Well, it was 7 hours going over. And then we had to take a second flight to Valencia. And then on the way back, it was like 8 hours. Yeah, it was long. But
so you got a couple movies in. You got a couple movies in.
The longest flight I've been on. Yeah. But James.
Yes.
When we got there, right, we wanted to, of course, experience the culture and all of the cool history and the museums. But one thing that I wanted to make sure that I did not miss out on was the movie-going experience abroad.
Of course.
I saw the original Avengers in Okinawa, Japan. That was one of the coolest experiences of my life. Like when that first came out, that was like in 2012. That was really awesome. So I wanted to make sure, hey, I'm in another country again. I have to get to the theater. So we did. And we took the whole family, international trip, international theater. We're so excited. First of all, there's a completely different culture around going to the movies. Now, James, you go up to a theater, right? You go into like your AMC or your Cinemark or your Regal or whatever. You buy your ticket. And say you get there early.
Okay.
Well, what would you do? I mean, you show up, you go in, you buy your snacks, you hang out, right?
Yeah, sit down.
Not so over there. Not so. They do not let you in. They don't let you physically into the theater building until like 20 minutes before the movies start. And the movies
so the actual
all start.
Building or like the theater, like individual cinema?
So we went to a cinema called Cinema Cinelise. And it was actually a gigantic 4-story tall theater.
Nice.
Narrow but tall. And it had like a dozen, at least, theaters in it. But they would only show movies in certain blocks. Now, you've heard of a siesta, right, James?
Yeah.
So between like noon and 4 o'clock, there are no movies.
Oh, that's crazy.
There are no movies. I think that they have some morning movies and they have the afternoon movies, and in the middle, you're not allowed inside because everyone's on siesta.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. So you couldn't like hang out in there. It's like there's no funny business. You get in, you go see your movie, and you leave.
Okay.
But once we got in, right, they opened the doors and we went to the snack, the little concession stand, right? And it's not the same, or at least in this particular theater. They had popcorn, right? They had popcorn. They had like candy, but it wasn't like the packaged candy. It was like one of those like self-serve candy things.
Stick your hand in a bucket kind of candy.
Right. And then they had like a handful of drinks, not a lot of soda, and that was it. It. We're like, we can handle this. We can deal with this. My husband got the popcorn because he loves popcorn. I just got a water. Like, there wasn't really anything that I liked. There wasn't, there's no Impossible Nuggets.
No.
There were no like fries and burgers or anything like that. It was just, kind of sparse. This theater in particular was very beautiful. It had 4 glass tube elevators around this really beautiful little like courtyard area, and you had to go up the elevators to get to the theaters. So it was very pretty, very old, nicely decorated and stuff. But James, that when we sat down, we're getting ready to enjoy the movies, and we are digging into our snacks. We did get some candies, mostly popcorn. My husband was affronted. He was angered. He was incensed. He was, I don't have the words to describe how upset he was. Like, it was a slow build from, oh, this is popcorn. Oh, it's not that salty. It's not that buttery. Oh, they don't have a butter machine. They don't have salt. They don't let you put anything else on it. This literally, it was a slow build of anger.
So is it just straight raw popped corn?
It was straight raw popcorn.
Are you sure? Like, there wasn't like a,
no
I don't
salt.
know. Yeah, that sounds wild.
2 or 3 grains of salt. It doesn't appear to have any butter. It was white, and there was no butter machine. There was like nowhere where you could add the butter. My husband got up. He's like, "Oh my God, what do I do?" Like, he started
wait, hold on. Let's walk back a little bit. So you go to the concession stand. You get your bucket. Was it in a bucket or like a bag or what kind of?
It wasn't a bucket. It wasn't a bucket. It wasn't a large bucket. It was just, we got the large, but it was more like a small, what you would get here.
Okay, but it was like in a container. It wasn't like a bag of loose popcorn.
It was in a container, yes.
Okay, so you get that. You pay the money. They give you the bag or whatever, of a container of popcorn, and then from there, like, he doesn't taste it immediately. Like 1 or 2 little like.
I think
starter.
we were all kind of rushed. We were all kind of rushed and trying to get up the elevators, and he didn't see like a butter machine or anything while we were down there. He's like, oh well, he figured like, well, it must have some in it. And we kind of just all rushed to get upstairs. We had a stroller with us. Another thing was they made us park the stroller under the screen. Okay. Like, they had us roll it into the theater and park it under the screen, which I thought was odd. But it's like, as we were sitting down, we had a few minutes before the movie was going to start, it was like that slow realization of wait, no, this is plain. No, there's no butter. No, there's no salt. What am I gonna do? Like, my husband appreciates American popcorn. So this is where I want to bring you into the conversation. How would you react to this type of popcorn? I don't know how much of a popcorn person you are, but do you think that it is a crime against humanity to have popcorn raw, no butter, no salt?
Well, the answer is clearly yes. Yes, it's wrong. Every popcorn experience should be had with butter and salt. I think I would have noticed, though, again, maybe I would have gone in preemptively, knowing that, okay, this isn't going to be the best popcorn just because it's white popcorn. I can see there's no hint of color or flavor on this. So I don't think I would have been as surprised. I would have been surprised immediately when they handed it over and then looked around and not see a butter thing. But then, like, I think instinctively I would throw in a few in my mouth immediately. And so I think, I would have been disappointed, maybe not as surprised after seeing the product in my hand. But Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I when I get popcorn, I don't add any extra additional popcorn or whatever they call popcorn onto that. I don't pour any other seasonings or whatever, so I usually have it how they serve it, which already has, I'm sure, way too much salt and butter than any human should be consuming at one point or in one sitting. But yeah, I thought when you told me that he had a terrible experience, I thought they're going to be throwing like, I don't know, some crazy wacky spices on there or something completely left field like jelly or jam. That would have thrown me off and angered me probably more.
That would have been better, maybe even.
Maybe. Yeah, so I don't know. So are you able to sneak food if you go back to Spain? If we send you back on assignment, are you able to sneak something into your bag? Is that possible?
I don't know, but the attendants were like really on it too. They were watching
at least like a mini
like
salt
hawks.
shaker, like a mini salt shaker and a little packet of butter.
Nothing.
You could do
that.
I don't
and
think
it's like
you
they weren't even like trying to upsell you. Like it. The other huge difference, James, besides the fact that they weren't trying to upsell you, like have more candy, have more this, have more that, like throwing the snacks at you, was the price. Okay, maybe this is why.
Okay.
There was no butter and no salt.
Yeah.
So between the popcorn, the drinks, and like one box of candy, in an American theater, popcorn, drink, candy. We just went last night. That's like $30 at least. Do you want to take a guess what this cost us?
$4? $3?
You're not far off. It was €5, which is about $6.
Okay.
For the large popcorn.
I think I would pay $30 though for butter and for salt. I think that's the difference. I would actually be more than happy to pay that much for it.
That's the premium, right?
Yeah.
Is that is salt and butter cost that much though?
You just flew back into America, so the prices are going up. In case no one's told you, and so probably now it does cost that much. But let me ask you, because I can, the snacks, the popcorn, all that stuff. That's just a part of the theater going experience. But I'm there for the movie. I can always get something before or afterwards. So I'm curious about the etiquette. What was the movie theater etiquette like? Like, what were the people like in there?
It was a much older crowd. There weren't really very many young people. So we went to go see a movie called Flow. It's an animated movie about a cat in a water world who is trying to escape on a boatload of other animals. I
think it's nominated for an Oscar, Flow.
Yes, very highly critically acclaimed on all the international sort of film festivals and in Oscar contention. So maybe it wasn't as much of a kid-focused movie as we thought it was later on. But here's something that you'll like about the movie-going experience once you were in there and settled and ready to see the movie. Because something that you complain about all the time, James, that you hate, are like all of the lead-up to the movie, right?
Oh,
the half an hour of trailers and all of the 3 or 4 AMC intros or whatever, and all the logos and things like that just never end. There was no pre-show entertainment.
Excellent.
As soon as the trailers started, it went from a big black screen to boom, trailer. No transition. There were 2 trailers.
Okay, cool.
2 trailers, and then it immediately went into the film. It was not stadium seating. You know how sort of all the theaters here have like redone themselves, and they have the stadium seats and the big cushioned chairs.
Was it just flat?
It was flat, very old school, flat, tiny folding chairs, and so you kind of had to like really space yourself out. There was no assigned seating. So you could kind of pick wherever you wanted to sit, and you got to stagger yourself so you're not, blocked by somebody's head, which is kind of the more the old school way of doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no trailers. Maybe there's a premium on that too, because the ticket prices was €8 a person, whereas here it's closer to like $20.
Yeah.
A person now to go to the movies, depending on what time of day you're going. So it was significantly cheaper, but it also kind of felt that way But it
Yeah.
also did, like, in some ways it was okay. It was more of like a classical sort of like an old timey, like it was like when I used to go to the movies as a kid, right?
Was it a culture shock for your kids?
For my son in particular, who's loves going to the movies and is always at the movie theater. He's never seen a theater like that. He's never seen the flat seats and the little folding chairs. Like, he's spoiled. He's always had the stadium seating and the recliners and all of that. So
he's like, did we go back in time on that plane?
Yeah. And what we kind of did with the time difference and all that. So it was that, and then it was just funny watching the amount of movies that they have that are all American movies that are just dubbed over. Was really funny to me. I was expecting to go over there and there be like just a ton of Spanish movies, but it was a ton of American movies that were just dubbed over.
All right.
Which was really funny. Yeah, because where do you think the movies come from? They come from right here.
Absolutely.
From USA and from New England, where they film, a ton of these.
So, if you can give me a rating, so taking everything into account, the price of the ticket, the theater setup, layout, the way you are allowed to either walk in freely or not walk in freely, seats assigned, snacks, all that in accumulation, like just overall theater experience, joy. How does it rank compared to the U.S. on a scale of like 1 to 10? You can start with the U.S. and then
tough.
you could rank Spain.
That's tough because the U.S. has the entertainment factor. You've got the whole smorgasbord of snacks. You've got, pre-show entertainment. You've got a ton of trailers. You've got the stadium seating. You've got not only the snacks, but you've got like the T-shirts and plushies and like it's overall like the U.S. and you've got the bar. Oh my gosh, like
MacGuffins.
Overall, I would say MacGuffins, right? Overall, I would say that the movie-going experience, as far as like fun and entertainment and coolness, I've got to give it to the U.S. I've got to give it to us. I've got to give it to the U.S. USA.
All right.
But as far as prices go, I experienced a significant amount of joy being able to go and see a really good movie and not pay the premium, but then you don't really get the premium experience.
Especially butter or salt, which I think...
And the butter and salt...
Yeah, it comes down to all that.
Crimes against humanity in my husband's eyes. He's insulted forever. I don't think I'll ever be able to get him to go back unless we like smuggled in our own snacks. And it just didn't feel as inviting. It didn't feel like a place that you could hang out all day.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did, growing up as a teenager or whatever. I would spend all day at the movie theater with my friends. We would see a movie and then we would play video games because the ones near our place, we had like DDR and all the arcade games and things like that. So I just, the cool and the fun factor, definitely have to give it to the U.S. I would say but the prices definitely take it down a notch. So I would say U.S. 8 out of 10, Spain 6.5 out of 10.
Okay. No, that's I think I would pay extra for the luxuries because I'm spoiled. I'm a spoiled American, and I can't. I watched. I forget which movie it was. I think it was. I'm not sure if it was Danvers or somewhere. But my wife and I, girlfriend at the time, we went to go see the Rise of Skywalker, and it was, and every theater was showing it, but the theater that we were able to get was like one of the older ones, and so like in the back, and it was all flat, and so that was like so not only did I watch a terrible movie, but like just the experience of sitting in those like very tight chairs compared to what we are in today, but those tight chairs and also just like flat. It was just like, oh, this is just a terrible experience. But really quickly, before we get to our next topic, you said that you watched one of the Avengers, or if not the first Avengers movie in Japan. I'm curious about the Japanese etiquette. Like, I've heard that they're very, not so as boisterous as we are in America. But Avengers, that must be a crazy movie to see. I'm curious how what was their reaction? Were there cheers, jeers, or was it very silent?
total silence.
Wow,
Total silence.
that's crazy.
And I was a little like overly conscious of that. So it was in English with Japanese subtitles, and I was very aware that I was the only American in that theater. And so I was trying to like not make a fool out of myself. I was trying to go with the flow.
That's funny.
And there were some scenes that I'm just like, yeah, you know, like because I loved that movie so much. But I'm looking around me like, no, stoic. So I tried to contain my Americanism. If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I imagine you'd have to, or else they wouldn't say anything to you. They would just side eye you and look at you and like silently judge you, bring much shame.
But it was a gigantic theater, really beautiful, really pretty, good snacks, really huge. So that, I mean, it was a good movie going experience, except that I was like in mortal terror of like embarrassing myself and shouting and being an obnoxious American.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into, well, first of all, those who are watching or listening, if you've watched a movie in a different country, of course, other than the U.S., let us know what that experience was like. I remember watching Shrek, the first one, I believe, in Mexico when it came out. And even though it's like an hour and a half movie, it's not long, it's Shrek, there was an intermission. And so that surprised me because there was a point where it just ended and like, what is going on? And then everybody just got up naturally, went outside to the concessions, got whatever they needed, went to the restroom. And I was like, whoa, this is so weird. And so in Mexico, I don't know if they still do it, but for the Shrek I saw, 25 years ago or so, they had an intermission for there. So you let us know down in the comments, what's your out of country, out of a U.S. movie theater going experience? How does it compare to how we do things, how we enjoy things in America? But Jamie, yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on here locally. I don't have the list in front of me, but can you go over some of the local casting calls and some of the filming events that we are expecting to see soon here?
Well, one thing that we are hearing about and pretty excited about here in the dead chill of winter is the Dead of Winter Horror Fest that is returning to Worcester. That is going to be February 22nd to the 23rd. Friend of the podcast, Julia Tutko Baena, is actually going to be hosting a panel called Slay Queen, A Celebration of Women in Horror.
Nice.
So kudos to her for that. That's going to be on Saturday. So yeah, in Worcester, February 22nd to 23rd. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I will try to be there for the Hub on Hollywood because it just sounds creepy. There's nothing better than it's freezing outside. It's cold. You want to snuggle up with your significant other and watch a horror movie and you just jump on the other person and what's better than that, right?
Right.
You're a guy. You like it when girls do that, right?
Yeah. Every guy loves it.
Okay. It is also that time of the year, James, for Boston University. Boston University puts out their annual casting call for people who are interested in acting in their university films, for their student filmmakers. They are looking for actors from age 8 to 80, both union and non-union, who are flexible and dependable, and would like to be a part of some great up-and-coming filmmakers' careers as they go through Boston University. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, send your headshot and resume to BU Open Casting Call, all singular, at gmail.com. Just wrapping up this little local segment. It's awards season.
Yeah.
Awards season's been sort of interrupted by the fires there in Los Angeles. But one of the awards coming up are the SAG Awards.
Yeah, excited.
Screen Actors Guild. Yeah, we're pretty excited for that. We're both SAG-AFTRA members. And the New England chapter of SAG is hosting their SAG Award party. It's going to be at the Somerville Theater this year in Davis Square on February 23rd. So if you are a SAG member, look out for that email, RSVP, on the union website. It's going to be a party. There's going to be a red carpet. People get to dress up. I remember when I did my hand stint for Knives Out. That was sort of my award ceremony. That's where I got to kind of celebrate myself.
Yeah.
And where a lot of our local talent get to celebrate themselves and the work that they do and the incredible films that get made here. So maybe we'll see you guys there too.
Excellent. Yeah. Shout out to Somerville Theater too. They're the great establishment. We've done numerous stories for them or about them with WBZ News Radio, and I'm sure we talked about them a million times here on the podcast as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, SAG Awards. Let us know if you are a SAG member locally in New England. Do you plan on going to that event? Also, where are you leaning on some of your votes? Any category in particular that you're most excited for, that you want to give a shout out to, and a recommendation for who you're voting for? Let us know down below. Jamie, you're talking about the MCU. We were talking about the Avengers earlier, and it's something that we're going to be talking about for Infinity War, forever.
Yeah.
And we're presuming and assuming that we're going to be seeing Robert Downey Jr. in every Avengers movie from now on into perpetuity. But someone that we may not be seeing coming back, despite the rumors, is Captain America, Mr. Chris Evans himself. Jamie, I'm sure you've heard the rumors swirling about him returning to the big screen, coming to either fight or join or what have you, but pretty much be across from Robert Downey Jr., who will be portraying Dr. Doom. But Chris Evans, he's telling Esquire magazine that is not true. Quote, "This always happens. I mean, it happens every couple years, ever since Endgame. I've just stopped responding to it. Yeah, no. Happily retired." You know what, Chris Evans? I'm calling BS. I am calling you out. I am saying I don't believe you. I can't believe any Marvel actor. This is not just a Chris Evans thing. This is an every MCU actor kind of thing. We can't trust you anymore. Ever. It existed
LIARS.
Before Spider-Man 3: No Way Home. But since then, especially with the whole Andrew Garfield lying to our faces, saying, "I have no idea. I don't know what's going on. No one's contacted me. I would love to be in it, but no one's asked me to." No. Since then, no. So I believe Chris Evans will return as Captain America or some sort of variant, whether it's in Avengers or in some other MCU project. But Jamie, do you believe Chris Evans? Do you believe any word that comes out of these actors' mouths?
I believe that he is a really great guy.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about his lies.
His lies.
His lies.
Thinking about. No. What can you trust? What can you believe anymore?
No.
Everything is an illusion, James. Nothing is real. What universe are we in?
Even your man, Jamie, man, Harrison Ford, he has gotten sucked into the MCU web of lies because even before the trailer came out for the new Captain America, Falcon America, Soldier Man movies coming out, before that trailer dropped, people were theorizing, we were hearing word that you are going to be not only the president of the United States in the movie, but you're also going to be the Red Hulk. You're going to turn into the Red Hulk. And looking a reporter dead in the eyes, Harrison Ford says, "What is that? What? No, I don't know what that is. Red, I don't know what that is. You're a liar, Harrison Ford. You're a liar."
Love him so much.
The trailer comes out. You are Red Hulk.
My man can do no wrong, James. My man can do no
and
wrong.
has.
I don't care. He can lie to me all day.
I'm going to make a thumbnail. I'm going to make a thumbnail where I'm like pointing at Harrison Ford because he always points at everybody in all his movies.
No.
And I'm going to put liar. A big picture of Harrison with the word liar on his forehead.
Oh my God. Don't do that. Don't do that to my man.
I will.
Okay.
I'm already making it right now as we speak.
You gotta put me in the back of the thumbnail, like knocking you out with like a bottle or something.
No, you're gonna be crying. You're gonna have tears flowing down your eyeballs.
I'm gonna learn how to make these thumbnails now.
I can do anything with Canva.
Compete. My man.
Oh goodness.
It's okay. Yeah. Look, you have to lie. They have to. They're contractually obligated. Whatever those words are.
You know what I will do?
What?
I would, because Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon, all those Jimmys, you can't trust them. That's why I go by James. You can't trust a Jimmy. But they're always like on their talk show, and Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, they're like, tell us, give us a spoiler. Or are you gonna do this? We heard you're gonna be in the movie. We heard this character's gonna come in. Like, I would, before the show starts, in the green room, I would grab those guys by their tie and go. I'll be a Harrison Ford. I'll be pointing my finger. Don't you dare ask me about this. The people want to be surprised. Get off my plane. That's what I'll do. And I'll say, if you ask me any questions about a spoiler or whatever, I'm walking off that set. I'd warn them.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
Chris Evans, Harrison Ford, they don't have the cojones to do that.
Mira, you gotta speak Harrison, okay? And if you can speak Harrison, you know when he's telling the truth and when he's like lying because he has to. When he does that fake like, I don't know. What was that? Like you can tell. You can tell. I don't know about Chris Evans though. I don't know.
He's a really good actor. Both are very good actors.
That's what they do. That is what they do. But we can still love him. You sound like personally offended, though.
I am over it. And again, maybe I'm just expressing my inner frustration with the MCU in general because I'm not excited for many of the projects. The only two projects I'm excited for are the new Fantastic Film movie and I'm not even excited for Thunderbolts. I think that's it. I think I'm just excited for Fantastic Four. None of this is. I've hit that wall. I've plateaued.
There is something else to be excited about. There is. May 2025. No, okay. March. Yes, March. Daredevil Reborn. Starring Charlie Cox.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be good. I'll have to... I won't have to force myself to watch it.
Excitement in your voice.
I know.
Daredevil. That I'm excited
love Daredevil.
For, but
I don't know. I don't know.
I know everything else is like,
My spirit's been broken too many times by the MCU, so maybe they'll turn it around. Maybe this is the upswing again.
Yeah, come on, Kevin Feige.
Come on, Kevin Feige.
Heal James's heart. Help, heal the MCU fans out there and that's what they're trying to do. They want to bring back the OGs. They're trying to bring back RDJ and possibly Chris
desperation.
Evans to bring back
Just
that
stinks
energy,
of desperation.
right?
Yeah.
That initial love. And what people love, James, is a big surprise. Doesn't it pay off for you in the end when there's a huge surprise and the person walks on the screen and everyone in the theater is screaming? Doesn't that make you forgive them a little bit?
Well, the thing is, they don't have those surprises. We all know the surprises. Like the whole Spider-Man No Way Home. We knew Toby and Andrew were gonna be there. So all those scenes where they pop in dramatically and take a pause for 10 seconds so the live audience can have their reaction. It was cool to see them. It's really cool to see them back. But there was no surprise, and so surprise me, Kevin. If you want me back, surprise me.
Surprise him.
Goodness.
Or else.
So I guess that's why. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is why Chris Evans and Harrison Ford should be lying. What am I doing? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing
just saying,
anymore.
leave my mans alone.
I've lost my mind. You know what? What's gonna make me lose my mind? Hopefully, if they're good, are these new movies that are slated to come out on Netflix, which is terrible timing because I'm on the cusp of canceling my Netflix, but. The streaming service just unveiled its film slate for the year, but only two movies have really piqued my interest. One stars my boy, Oscar Isaac, and Jacob Elordi, Maya Goth, and Christoph Waltz in Frankenstein, directed by none other than Guillermo del Toro. So,
yeah, you know that's going to be good.
That looks good. Did you see the first picture that came out? They showed just a picture of Oscar Isaac, and he's just pointing at something vigorously. And it looked good.
I did not see, but now I must see.
He's wearing a vest. Yeah, you have to check it out. Also, I'm planning to check out and really excited for is the next chapter of Knives Out, Wake Up, Dead Man. An official release date has not been announced, but it will be coming out sometime in the fall. So, if they can be just as good as the second one, that'll be great. If they're just as great as the first one, I'll be ecstatic. But those are two movies I'm looking forward to.
Awesome. And if people want to see the full slate of movies that we are looking forward to in the year 2025, we did that video, our New Year's video a couple episodes back. Give that a look. And,
the past 2 weeks have felt like years.
They have. Every day has felt like an entire year. And so that is why here on the Hub on Hollywood, we have vowed to bring joy and happiness back into your lives, and smiles and hope for the future. And these are the things that you can all look forward to, and we will continue to look forward to them with you, etc., etc. So subscribe. That's what the people should do.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you very much. Please subscribe, hit like. We are currently at 338 subscribers at this moment. If you want to help join us, if you want to join the Hub on Hollywood Army, please follow, please subscribe, and comment down below. Join the conversation. We would love to give you a shout out. We have several commenters on our last episodes and segment posts that we could probably, I'll try to find for the end of the episode. I can give a quick shout out, but we'd love to shout you out as well. If you're listening to us on any of the major podcasting streaming services, please leave a 5-star review. It helps us get noticed. It helps us, get heard by more people. And if you know anybody who loves movies just as much as we do, recommend the podcast. They might like us as well. Also follow us, at Hub on Hollywood on the social media platforms if they still exist. Jamie.
Yes, James.
Speaking about bringing joy, I'm curious if this movie brought joy to yourself and to the children of the world. DogMan.
Yes.
This looks interesting.
DogMan. DogMan is a film franchise, a brand new film franchise based on the wildly popular books by Dave Pilkney. I'm saying that a little bit wrong, but
no, I think that's perfect.
You think that was perfect?
That was perfect, actually.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Pilkey. It's a little hard to say. And what I love about Dave Pilkey, my son has been obsessed with these books for about the last year. We own all of them. And what's wonderful about him is not only does he have like this really creative style, these really funny characters that are super engaging, and the comics are like super fun to read for kids. But he is a person who, has ADHD and dyslexia, and he struggled very mightily, through school. And something that he constantly got in trouble for was doodling and making little comic books. And famously had he would always be sat outside the classroom for making trouble and not paying attention. And famously, he had a teacher that came up to him one day, took his little comics, ripped them up, and said that there was no future in drawing little pictures and that he was never going to amount to anything.
Jeez.
And while he dedicated the rest of his life to amounting to frickin' something, and the message behind this movie is just so sweet, so adorable. I really, really enjoyed it in an era of kids' films that are dark, overly done, sort of scary. I'm looking at you, Disney. Like, what the hell with all of these remakes that are actually terrifying? This was pure fun. It takes the content from about the first 3 or 4 books and condenses it into a really beautiful film, keeping that style, keeping that comic book style, but just making it a little bit 3D, but so crisp and clear and easy to follow. I just wanted to give you...
The animation looks really fun. Is this a spinoff from the Captain Underpants, or like...
Yes!
What spinoff is this from?
Yeah, so Dave Pilkey, also the author of Captain Underpants, and this is one of his other projects, DogMan. So same universe.
Gotcha.
You might say. So quick synopsis of DogMan. It's ridiculous premise, but so much fun. When a police officer and his faithful police dog get injured in the line of duty, A harebrained but life-saving surgery fuses the two of them together. So the dog's head gets put on the man's body, creating DogMan. DogMan has to learn to embrace his new identity and stop the feline supervillain Petey the cat from going on crime sprees and taking over the world and whatnot. Really
played by Pete Davidson.
Correct. Pete Davidson plays Petey the cat, which is the villain. And you've got Rel Howery as Chief, and he's just really hilarious. A nice cast. Ricky Gervais plays Flippy the fish, who's also an evil fish. Is a part of that film. Billy Boyd is in it too. There's a great cast.
Wait, so I'm curious. I don't know if they cover it in the film, but DogMan. So man's body, dog's head.
Correct.
Is the body as a whole controlled by the dog, or is there still man in there, like RoboCop, where the like his inner man is still in there? Like who's in charge of the body? Like is the man gone? Like how does that work? Am I thinking too much?
You're thinking too much. There are many questions. There are no answers.
Gotcha. That's
Man's
fair.
body, dog head. It fights crime. It's got stitches. It plays the piano. It drives.
But does the dog have to come to terms with its new body?
Essentially, I guess.
Because that sounds like a human trait.
It's kind of dark in the beginning. It's like you're cutting the guy's head off. You're killing him.
Yeah, like what happens to like his brain? Unless I'm probably thinking way too much about this dog. No, but the animation looks really fun. Again, like you said, I like how you said it's very simple, as in like it's not trying to do too much or be too much than what it is. Simple premise, and I heard that Pete Davidson does a fantastic job as the arch nemesis cat character.
Yes, he does a really great job as the arch nemesis. And was surprising to me is that they did have some themes in here to do with family trauma, generational trauma, where, Petey the cat is evil, but he's evil because his dad abandoned him and life is terrible. And he creates a clone by accident who becomes Lil Petey. And Lil Petey, is calling Petey his dad, and he has to kind of face this kind of like chain of trauma and despair, because Lil Petey is the goodest do-gooder around. He's like, he is what Petey was. And so it actually, in the course of this really silly and fun movie, is taking on some heavier topics, but not in like a heavy-handed way, and not in like an in-your-face or on-the-nose kind of way, like in a really natural and fun kind of way that I think would help children deal with these kinds of experiences. And it's got those nods to neurodivergency as well, and existing in that world. There's a robot called 8DHD who helps little Petey. So it's just really endearing, well done, not overdone in the least. Great themes, really funny jokes, not just for the kids, and not like forced jokes or whatever, like really, really like authentically funny jokes.
Like parents will enjoy it too.
That parents would enjoy also. Fun music, especially at the end. So I give it very high.
Two paws up.
Two paws up.
Technically a human hand, so 2 thumbs up. I don't get this world. I need to watch this movie.
But
I need to
DogMan
understand.
Has thumbs.
I need to watch one of those YouTube videos where they dissect the philosophy behind DogMan.
It would get too dark too quickly. I wouldn't recommend it. I
need to now. Now that you've just enticed me. See, I'm now more excited for this movie than any other Marvel MCU movie in the works. So
yeah, I think you'll really like it. And once your daughter is old enough to start seeing these movies like this was really cute. This is one I think that she'd really enjoy. I think you would really enjoy it as well.
Excellent. Excellent. Dogman, out in theaters right now. Go check it out. If you have watched it, what are your thoughts? Comment down below. Join the conversation. We will get to our last topic, but I do want to give a shout out to those who did comment on some of our last episodes or segments. In the episode or the segment regarding The Brutalist and AI, artificial intelligence drama, we have a little back and forth with a Mr. Tim Starrocks and a Wrath 1999 going over the pros and cons of using AI in movies. Tim Starrocks says, honestly, who cares? It wasn't even a big part of the movie. Wrath responds, actors should be able to act. Maybe if they just tried a little harder at doing an accent, they wouldn't need AI. Then they had another back and forth. So check that out in our comments on that episode. Also, we have a comment on the controversy regarding, which one's this one? Oh, that was AI. We are looking at, oh, this one was, a lot of people were giving love for Conan O'Brien. He was announced to be getting the Mark Twain Prize Award. One person goes, BLT 4084 says Conan is the GOAT. Spice and Sauce says a lot of funny people got Mark Twain Prize awards before Conan, and what a travesty that is. So thank you so much. Those are just a few of the commenters on our page. Let us know what you think. We'll give you a shout out as well. And again, we did respond to several of those. So again, we love to give you guys a shout out and acknowledge your participation. And so, Jamie, I know we did talk about David Lynch passing away. Again, an iconic, incredible director, passed away recently. And, this is when people start going into the archives, start looking up old interviews with some of these directors. And one video that's been spliced together, is one with the late David Lynch and Quentin Tarantino. And it brings up the debate of that goes back to 1999 when the first digital film was shown in theaters. Jamie, really quick, can you guess which movie was the first digital film to be shown in movie theaters? 1999.
I'm going to make a wild guess and say Titanic.
No. I think Titanic came out in like 96?
I'm a few years late. Okay.
A few years late. But Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, was the first digital film. They used 35 millimeter, but they also used digital cameras for that as well. So technically, it was the first digital film shown in theaters. But that's neither here nor there. But since that movie came out and the adoption of digital cameras to make movies, the debate goes back and forth. What is better? Film, OG film, or the new thing, the new tech? And we had this back and forth between David Lynch and Quentin. Again, the spliced together interview, and they both talk about their why they love or hate each other's choice. And we can start with Tarantino. Of course, we know that he loves old Hollywood. All of his movies are filmed with 35 millimeter film. He loves the classics, and he cannot dream or think about ever shooting digital. And so he says that he feels gypped when he goes and sees a movie and finds out it was shot on video. He says it's a death rattle. He believes in the magic of movies, and that the 35 millimeter experience is what makes movies magical, specifically because he says when you're shooting on film, you're taking a series of still pictures, but when you show those pictures at 24 frames per second, it creates the illusion of movement, and that illusion is what's connected and what creates the magic of movies. So there's Tarantino's take on it, on why he prefers film. David Lynch, however, he says he loves or loved digital, and he is done with film. He says even though he loves film, it's a dinosaur. Everything about it is a dinosaur. It's soon to be gone forever. Tape, analog, all gone. It can't even get a roll of tape anymore. He says film scratches, it breaks, it's dirty, it gets dirt all over it, and no two prints are the same. And he lastly calls it a nightmare, saying that just hearing the projector chattering in the background is a no-go for him. He says, like many people I'm sure, takes him out of the movie when you can hear the literal machine projecting the movie on the screen. I have mixed opinions on this, like many things in this world. But Jamie, right off the bat, what do you feel like? Do you like the digital, or do you like film? The classics.
I would say I don't have a strong opinion one way or another.
You have to make one right now. You have to pick a side.
James, what? Fine, film. Whatever James picks, I pick the opposite. How about that?
Oh goodness, yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, that way we can just fight about it.
Yeah.
But what I love about this back and forth is David Lynch is a man who's been burned by film just way too many times. I loved how he's like, if you see it's dirty. You see the dust? It's all dusty. All of it. No two takes are the same or whatever. Like no two copies are the same. And he was just, it's over. It's done. Like he's so over it. It's a dinosaur. Yeah. It's a practicality thing. Okay?
Yeah.
It is, and Tarantino's obviously a romantic. And that's the thing with romance, okay? It's the experience, it's the journey, but sometimes the practicality and the details of that journey are just way too much, to do. So you can absolutely tell that one is just way romantic and one is just pragmatic. And it's really funny. It's really funny because those two kinds of people are usually married to each other.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious to see this back and forth. What do you think, James? What's your opinion? What are your strong feelings on this?
So if I find out, if I have the option to watch a movie on film, on the projector, I will see that movie. I will. Yeah. I love IMAX and, digital. And yeah, it's amazing. But given the chance, I would be willing to go to a smaller theater to watch something on film because there's a warmth, a vibe. There you can feel, I will say it, the magic of film and how it projects onto a screen. So I do understand when Quentin says that it adds to the illusion. These single shots, these like picture frames put together, shown 24 frames per second to create the illusion of movement. I totally get that, and I totally agree with that. That movies in general are an illusion. They're stories. They're made up. They're make believe. Put on to a screen, and being able to experience that is magic. It's incredible. If you would have shown these to cavemen, they would have gone ooga booga, and that would have been like, oh my god, my mind's blown. And so I do agree, it's magic. But digital. There's so many things you can do with digital that you can't with film, and that is, you can get so many more takes. You can try to get that perfect shot, but get that perfect sequence. In the more technical sense, and the more, I think, just the filmmaking sense in general, I think it democratizes filmmaking because not everybody can afford film. Not everyone can shoot film. Not everyone can develop and go through the whole process of what it means and what it takes to create a movie on film. However, shooting digital, that opens the door to literally everybody, from these high-end digital cameras to movies that are shot on iPhones. It allows anybody to become a filmmaker, opens that door, opens that gate. And so that's one thing I think about, like, yeah, there is the romantic side, the magic side, the soulful side that you get and you feel from film. And given the chance, I'll watch that. That being said, when it comes to the entire industry as a whole, film doesn't work for everybody, but digital does. And in that sense, of course, there's room for both. But it depends who you are, really, at the end of the day. If you have the capability, try film. You may love it. Twisters was shot on film. I believe... Don't quote me, but I believe Nosferatu was also shot on film. It just adds to it, the aura, the mystique to it. But yeah, I agree. Digital opens the door for everybody and allows everybody's artistic expression to be put on display. So I too,
Very
like
eloquent.
you, Jamie, am split.
Very eloquent.
Thank
Very
you.
well said. But I need you to clip the part where you just go ooga booga.
Ooga booga, my mind's blown.
Okay.
I think that's how the caveman spoke back then. I think if they had film
Right.
and they had filmed themselves in a way to record audio, then that is exactly what it would have sounded like. But let us know what you think. If those of you who are watching, listening to us on digital, on the digital camera right here, that's now on YouTube or being streamed online, what do you think? I know, again, I think it just depends. I think this is one of those things where, like, the answer is whatever you prefer. There's no right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's just what works for you. What is your can you physically, are you capable of doing film? If not, let us know what you think. Comment down below. Who's right? Who's wrong? Is David Lynch right? The late David Lynch, or is Quentin Tarantino? You decide. You pick.
Okay.
Thumbnail.
Battle it out.
Battle it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining this conversation. And if you're a caveman and we offended you, we're sorry.
I don't take it back.
Join us every week.
That's my hard
for this content.
My hard stance on cavemen.
Here on the Hub on Hollywood, and we will continue to bring you the movies you love and the movies that get made here in New England. Until next week, James, I am Jamie Boga.
I'm James Boga. We'll see you next time. Bye.